All right, guys, we are back with my Integra Type-S. It's been a little while since we did anything to this car because we pretty much did everything we could do to it for now. We are going to focus on maybe a couple body mods to it in the future, but for now, what we are doing is we are swapping out the hybrid racing shifter for an Acuity brand new four-way adjustable shifter that they just released not too long ago. Basically, we want to see how does this perform being it's a new product. Obviously, they had a lot of R&D into this, and I have high hopes on it's going to feel pretty good. We're going to go ahead. We'll go over some differences between the Acuity and the hybrid. The hybrid, such a solid piece. I love the hybrid racing shifter, but being this a new product, we like testing out new products. We're going to see how this one performs as well. All right, so right away, off the bat, what I noticed that's different from the hybrid is that this piece here bolts on to the stock aluminum frame from the OEM shifter, as opposed to the hybrid, which is a full replacement piece that replaces this bottom portion here. So right off the bat, that's the first difference I notice. It has some good adjustability here. You got 3 different settings for your gate settings. You can do short, which is all the way down. That would be a really kind of short spacing between your gears from first, second, third, fourth, up. Then you got in the middle, which would be 2, which would be in between, and then you got 1, which would be the widest left and right, side to side motion. So I think what we're going to do is set that on 2, keep it right in the middle. Then you have your throw. You can have it shorter or longer. You just would adjust it right here, and it'll just kind of move this rod up and down. And I think I'm going to go ahead and probably set that in the middle as well. I'll just keep everything kind of in the middle, and we'll test it out with that. Because that's kind of what I did with the hybrid. I kind of kept everything in the middle, so it'll get kind of the same feel. And we'll go ahead and bolt this up and swap it out. All right, so before I do anything, I'm gonna go and adjust the gate and the throw, pretty much the 5mm Allen. And we'll go ahead and kind of just put it where we want it. So I'm gonna put it on 2, and then I'll go ahead and tighten that down on 2. Okay. So we have 1 through 5. Right there, you see that? Position 1 through 5. So 1 being the shortest or the longest throw, 5 being the shortest throw. I'm gonna go ahead and set that to 3. We'll put it right on the 3 here. Okay, and that's that. So I don't know if anybody can actually see this on camera, but this might look like it's plastic, but it's actually a high-grade aluminum frame in a matte finish. And I like how they put their logos, and it even gives you like torque specs here for mounting the screws on here, and you got all your torque specs for your gear and gate adjustments here. So 6 foot-pounds. You also have, I don't know if you guys can see that, you got an A, B, and C on the mounting positions here that will mount to your factory frame. It does tell you, because this is for the 11th gen Civic and Integras, but specifically it tells you right here on the side. Also tells you, if you look on the installation instructions, for FL5 you only want to use position B or C. You can see there's a B and a C, so basically that's going to sit on here, right? And when you mount it, you're going to either have it to where your bolts are going to tighten down directly in the middle, which would be B, or you're going to have it kind of to the side where your bolts will tighten down and it'll be on C. So it's going to just have your left and right movement here. I'm going to go ahead and mount it on B, so that's straight in the middle. I'm pretty sure that should be nice and centered. I'm going to go ahead and get the rod kind of set up in here. Comes with this little kind of spacer piece here that's going to go slide in on that side. And then we'll put our bolt here. We'll kind of just get a little thread started. And then I'll slide this in. All right. and there's the numbers 1 through 5. They do say that if you are not going to be running a shift boot, you can use position 4 and 5. If you are running a shift boot, you want to stay kind of where the 1, 2, and 3 is, so that way your shift boot will still cover everything. I like my shifter to be a little higher, so I'm going to go and set it on 4 for now. And we'll see how 4 does. I can always adjust it, seeing as how I'm not running a shift boot anyways. And we'll go ahead and see how that works on 4. So they do provide the supplied hardware to bolt the shifter up to your factory aluminum stand here almost. So we're going to go ahead and we'll just kind of put these in. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and run the screws down. I'm not going to tighten them down yet. So I can adjust this to where I want to set it. I'm going to put it on position B, which is in the middle here. Okay. Put it in position B. It tells you to tighten these down in a crisscross motion fashion. So if you're gonna tighten this one, then you'll go ahead and tighten the one up in the front here. And what you'll do is you can tighten one of these and then obviously do the opposite. So all right, so as you guys have seen on a bunch of previous videos, we've taken this out quite a bit of time, so there's nothing new here. Just pop this off. I actually had my Type-S piece that I had removed earlier because I have Chasing Jay's titanium piece for it, and I'm gonna go ahead and we'll pop that back on after we reinstall this. Alright, clip the harness. Just out the way. We got the hybrid shifter out, and here we go. It's right next to the Acuity one. So as you can see, the difference is this is a full frame replacement, as this one goes and bolts up to your factory aluminum piece here. A couple more differences now that we have it all side to side is the Acuity has this spring right here, kind of like on their stage 2 upgrade that we installed. They use these springs for your side to side, and if you can see here, the spring is on the inside right here. The spring is kind of on the inside of the hybrid right there, and that kind of gives you your side-to-side spring motion here. Another thing here we can point out is the hybrid shifter. It has 2 positions of adjustability for your side-to-side, and it has 2 positions for your throw. The Acuity, it has 3 different positions for your gear spacing for your side-to-side, and it has, 5 different adjustability on your throw for short or longer throw. So those are the 2 differences between the shifters here on adjustability wise. All right, so we'll go ahead. We're going to reinstall this and bolt it down. I'm going to go ahead and get the cables in, and I haven't tightened these all the way down. They're still a little bit loose. So one thing is, once you get these cables in and you kind of set everything up, this will kind of almost help center this where you want it, and then we'll go ahead and we'll torque this down completely to the torque spec that it recommends.
Well, I'm gonna be the first before TJ get in there.
All right, now we kind of got everything in, got our cables in, so I'll go ahead and I'll torque these down to the 6.6 foot-pounds. All right, the last one I had to get a little extension in here. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll clip our harness into the slots here, like the factory one is. All right, set our console back in. All right, so now we got the shifter in. We're gonna go ahead and put our cover back on. As you can see, I reached out to Chasing Jays because they make this titanium shifter plate here, which is actually really cool because I don't want to put the boot back on. I like this look a lot better. Now, I did have a different version of their shift plate on with my old shifter setup. Because they do offer 3 different versions of this. It all depends on which shifter you're using, if it's a stock or a hybrid or an Acuity. If you have let's say you have a hybrid and you have the shifter rod kind of angled, because you can angle that left and right. They have a whole description on there for which one you should choose if you have that set up. With the Acuity, I went with this version, which is cut out more than all the other 3, just because how we have our throw and our side-to-side setup. If I were to shorten this, I could probably use one of the other ones where there's a little bit more of a plate on here, but because of how I like my shifter setup how it is, I want a little bit longer of a throw than I want short, so I went with this one, and it should give us enough clearance when we pop it on here. There you go. So now we got our plate back on. We tested our shifter here. It doesn't hit, so we're all good to go. So our last piece is I have a Chasing J's titanium knob that I also picked up from them. I have it in their ghost form. They do have it where it's like a gradient color, but I went ahead and kept my ghost titanium theme. So go ahead and put this on here. It comes with a titanium lock nut as well, so that way the shifter knob doesn't come loose. All right, so now we finally got the Acuity shifter installed with our Chasing J's goodies. We've been wanting to do that for a little while now, and so we finally got that out the way. And now we are going to move on to another mod that I've been wanting to do for a while, which is a Paragon brake rotor upgrade. And it's pretty much, it's not like the caliper upgrade. It's pretty much the like bolt-on OEM plus, I would say, upgrade for like the front. The rear is an actual massive upgrade from the factory, but it's cool because these, like here's the front rotors here, you can see they are slotted, but this is a direct replacement to the OEM. It's just slotted. It's a lot nicer, I'd say, than the OEM one is, and this actually works very well. And the next biggest thing would be the rear here. As you can see, the rear is a massive upgrade from the factory. Once we get the factory one off, we'll do a size comparison, but it's a way bigger upgrade from the rear on the stock. And the cool part about it is Paragon supplies these upgraded brackets here, which come in powder coated red, as same as the factory caliper, because as anyone knows, the factory rear caliper has a silver bracket with a red caliper. So now you get that all red upgrade. It looks aesthetically a lot better than the silver and the red. And also what we're doing is we are putting on the P2 pads. They do have a couple different ones. They have a P3. The P2 is more of like an OEM replacement, kind of like a little bit upgrade from the stock. Less dust, I'd say, and there's no noise that accompanies that with these. So we went ahead with that because I'm not going to be really tracking the car. I don't really need the P3 pads, but these should do just fine. And we should notice a big difference just from the rear rotor upgrade. So let's go ahead and install these on the car, and we'll show you how the rear looks compared to this one. Before we get the car in the air, we're going to go ahead and put our rear calipers in maintenance mode. There's multiple scan tools that you can use to do it. I grab the Autel because it's quick, easy handheld scanner. So we use the Autel scanner to do it. We have a Honda HDS, but to get into all that, it takes a little bit of time with that. This is a lot quicker, so I chose to do it this way, but there's plenty of other scanners out there that will work. You could do it manually, but I would advise against it because I've seen people do it manually and they break the motor, or they have the piston come out or not in enough, and then they try to put the motor back on, and then it throws the calibration out. And so you probably don't want to do it that way. This is a lot easier to just get a scanner and do it. It takes them 2 minutes to do. So we'll go ahead and put in maintenance mode. It takes 2 seconds. Pretty much just get into that system, go into maintenance mode, and then we'll go enter brake pad maintenance mode, hit OK, and then you'll hear the rear. As soon as I hit OK, you're going to hear the rear retract. All right, so that was it. You heard it retract. Now we can pretty much just turn the car off for now. I'll leave this in here. And now we can do our rear brakes. Once we're done, we can put it back to normal mode, and that'll be that. All right, I'm just wiping the calipers out and cleaning it up a little bit, but if you can see, it's starting to form a lip on the OEM rotor here. So I'd say we're pretty much due for a nice set of pads and rotors. All right, so here's the rear brake pads. These were the yellow stuff pads. I think I got about, I don't know how many miles I got out of it, but a decent amount of miles out of it, and you can see they're pretty low. Plus, obviously, it has a little lip, starting to get a little lip to it on the rear as well, so it was about time. As you can see, our OEM rear rotor here compared to the Paragon rear rotor, it's a decent size upgrade from the factory here. So, quite big. Okay, we'll put the pads on here. Before we retracted the parking brake, so that allows us to squeeze this in without having any kind of issue with the motor binding up.
Well, guys, there you have it. Paragon rear BBK with their P2 brake pads. Look how massive these brake rollers are.
All right, now that we got the rear done, we're gonna go ahead and move to the front, take our pads out. I'll retract the caliper here, and then we'll remove it. We'll swap out our rotor and put our new pads back on. I'm just gonna compress this with the old pads on here, and we can take it off. Okay. Slide these out.
How are we looking at the remain material?
Not too bad. We still got some meat on it.
Yeah.
We just got a nice little lip on the rotor, though.
Oh yeah, look at that right there, huh?
All right, so basically they're pretty much the same size rotor, just couple little differences. They're both two-piece. You can see the vent. There's a bunch of multiple vents on the center here compared to the big slotted ones on the factory. And then this obviously has the slotted rotor compared to just the regular rotor on the factory one. And then the other difference here is the piece that bolts to the hub. You can see it's a little thinner compared to the OEM. OEM's thicker. As far as weight goes, they're about the same. I'd say maybe slightly less on the Paragon.
And just because TJ mentioned about weight, so we gotta go ahead and weigh both of them. 21.4 on the OEM brake rotor for the front. And here's the Paragon. 21.2, so 0.1 pounds lighter. Yeah. There you go. There's some advantage on weight saving there. Since this is a OEM replacement, all you have to do is just put everything back in reverse order. Slide on our Brembo caliper.
On the Paragon rotor, you can see it gives you the rotation, so they want the arrow facing forward and down. It also shows you the size of the rotor, which is 350 mil, which matches the rear, which is also 350 mil. And then it gives you the resurfacing, minimum resurfacing that you can get to, which is 30 mil. So this is a 32 mil thick. So you can resurface 2 mil out if it does become warped or anything, which is actually pretty cool that you can actually resurface these. So that's a plus also. So the brake pads should pretty much just slide in since we already retracted it. And we'll be able to put our pins in it.
Well, guys, there you have it. OEM replacement Paragon two-piece slotted front brake rotor, along with that P2 brake pads. The front, look here, and here's the rear. How big the rear BBK is.
Now that everything is done, we're just gonna go back on here. We'll hit back to normal mode. We'll hit OK. And then it'll go back. Brakes are grabbing.
Well, TJ, like you mentioned, the brakes is grabbing. Now, so far we've been on the road for maybe a few minutes. What is your impression for the shifter? And then move on to the brakes.
Man, the shifter is absolutely amazing. probably one of the best, if not the best shifters out there right now. I mean, this thing is super smooth. I like how it like reacts back to the center so, you know, so quick. It returns to its center state like really fast with that spring in there. So as far as the Acuity goes, with the Acuity shifter, this plate, which I think was like the drop down, was like number 3. It's the most open one. I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be your best bet with the Acuity shifter. With the hybrid shifter, you can go with the menu option number 2, I believe. It just all depends on which way you have your shift rod oriented. But I feel like number 2 was probably the best way to go with the hybrid shifter, and then their option number 1 works best with the OEM shifter.
All right, so we got some high speed and we got some low speed. What do you think about brakes so far?
I think that it is biting pretty hard. Definitely the pads are a nice upgrade. The rotor is a nice upgrade. So, you know, nothing beats a brand new set of pads and rotors. Right now, you know, I'm sure they're going to wear in a little bit more. I don't want to like kill it by slamming on the brakes too much, but I'm sure by the time I go the next couple of days, they'll probably be worn in good. And, you know, as it is now, they're gripping, you know, right off the bat, they're gripping strong. So I'm sure with a little bit of wearing, it'll probably grip even better. But yeah, they stop really good. So.
That's always fun, but guys, this is gonna do it for today's video. Make sure to stay tuned next week for another video. Until then, we'll see you guys again next week.